Hello and welcome back. In this series, I want to go through the entire Elyos campaign. I will not only explain the campaign quests and their meaning for the world of Atreya, but also tell you about all the important characters and their personal story. We will also include special places of interest that you always wondered about. And lastly, I will explain all the dungeons, their backstory, the reason we go and kill everything there, and how we follow up on our tasks after the dungeon. So lean back, relax, and let's start. In the last video we helped the Elim Lord Lodas, who is desperately trying to fight the desertification of Eltnan. And we also learned that the Manduri were apparently humans before they were punished by the Empyrean Lady Yustiel. On our next task, we get confronted with Eltnan's past. It is all about a mighty Balaur named Sataloca. All of this is documented in the storybook Eltnan's Fall, by the way. Long ago, when the two continents, Elysia and Asmodee, were still one, Eltnan was a paradise, its every corner verdant, bountiful fruit trees, crystal clear springs, and ever-abundant crops. All of this gone and corrupted when the Balaur brought war to Eltnan. During the Millennium War, humans and Daevas fought the Balaur for defying Aeon's will. Aeon in return made the etheric field to protect and nourish all of Atreya. Since Eltnan is on the outskirts of the etheric field, relatively far away from the Tower of Eternity, which is the manifestation of Aeon, it was a regular target for Balaur to seek in gaps in the usually unpenetrable etheric field. One day, a huge army of Balaur attacked Theobomas. The Empyrean lords organized their legions and arrived in a matter of a few hours, in masses, to defend the eastern etheric field. As big and powerful as the Balaur army in front of the Theobomas etheric field was, it was a feint. While the Empyrean lords and most of their followers fought in the east, the Balaur lords themselves arrived in the west. There they focused all their personal might and pierced the etheric field near Eltnan. A small gap was opened. After only a handful Balaur had passed, the gap closed and the etheric field was once again impenetrable. All people in Eltnan were relieved that the etheric field was once again safe and that it wasn't the entire force of the Balaur lords that could enter. Even though most forces were in the east to defend Theobomas, the remaining Daevas in Eltnan bravely charged towards the Balaur that managed to go through the gap. Nearly equal in numbers, the Eltnan forces felt confident. The brave Daevas managed to kill the horde of Balaur, but not their general, Sataloca. Sataloca, an adjutant of a Dragon Lord and an ascended Drakon, he not only scourged the Daevas in Eltnan, but all creatures and even the land itself with his venomous sorceries. His goal was clear: destroying Aeon's tower so the etheric field falls and all Balaur could enter. He laid waste to the once beautiful land between him and the Tower of Aeon. Every village he passed blasted to ruins. But even as Sataloca easily killed every Daeva in his way, the Daevas would not give up. The eastern battle in Theobomas kept all reinforcements from Eltnan for days, leaping from the arms of soul healers into the face of the foe over and over again, death upon death upon death, slowly destroying their souls and minds, yet they kept fighting for their families, their loved ones, their comrades, and for Aeon himself. All would end if the Balaur managed to get to Aeon's tower. No mortal or Daevic force could stand before Sataloca, so the Empyrean lords looked to a power even older than themselves: eldritch bones of ancient dragons in the north of Eltnan. But how to lure Sataloca there? A brave Templar named Nurea formed a legion of volunteers. Though she was still recovering from defending Theobomas, She bristled at Sataloca's offenses against her homeland. Nurea and her Daevas taunted Sataloca into the north and right into the Imperial Lord's trap. Sataloca's fresh blood bound him to the ancient bones with ties of ether. Once Sataloca was caught, countless warriors set upon him with a savagery matching his own. Although his body was hacked to pieces, Sataloca's life force lingered. Sataloca's heart contained some fell power that raised drakes to attack the Daevas. The most potent magic, the most devastating sword strokes, and it would only glow with a foul potency. Afraid that reckless attempts might cause the heart to spill forth all its poison, the Imperial Lords instead sealed the heart away forever. Kimeia, an Archon of Lady Ariel, accepted the responsibility to seal and guard Sataloca's heart. She remains there now and forever, protecting Eltnan from the organ's smoldering fury. Eltnan also paid a heavy price. Every village, each inch of soil Sataloca had crossed, is scorched and contaminated. Eltnan's agonies might have been all of Atreus if the etheric field had remained open a little longer and more Balaur would have been able to enter. And what would remain of our world without brave and strong Daevas like Nurea? Since we now know Sataloca's story, we can start our new quest.
Kimeia is a protector of the light. She is able to suppress the power of the Balaur, so hers is the task of guarding Sataloca's heart.
We get called to Kimeia, who guards Sataloca's heart. The talk with Kimeia is very interesting. Not only does Kimeia sense that our ether is somewhat special, she also recognizes that Sataloca's heart feels our presence, and its rhythm has accelerated. She then asks us what we did before we ascended, and our answer is simply that we were a mercenary, but we do not remember anything before then. She feels a sense of familiarity seeing us, but she cannot remember where from. However, she called us here to test us.
Do you see those Acheron drakes? You have 3 minutes to kill them. Bring back as many of their fangs as you can. I'll count the fangs and judge your skill.
After we complete the test, she's surprised that we not only met her high expectations for us, but we even managed to exceed them. She then sends us to Diomedes, where we receive our reward. And this concludes the story of Sataloca. But never forget, the heart of Sataloca beats still. I want to thank you all for watching and hope you join me in the next part of our journey as well. If any questions remain, feel free to ask them in the comments or in our Discord server. If you liked the video, please consider leaving a thumbs up and maybe even subscribing. Have a wonderful day and see you next time. Bye.